Good morning, this is Jack from the Untitled.net, and this is the pre-market recording for Monday, the 8th of June. Our disclaimer, we do this for educational purposes only. We're here to share our technical analysis with you. We hope you can take some of what we're doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. We're not here to issue trading signals. Right, ES, back retesting the highs from Friday. I think we've got, have we got a sell signal brewing here on the 60-minute? We're very, very close. Not quite there, I think. I'm not sure we've done a full retest of Friday's high, but we're very close. As soon as we do, we're going to have a 60-minute sell signal brewing. We won't have one on an NQ. We've got one already brewing on RTY. We've got one already brewing on YM. And we've got weak sell signals brewing on DAX and the STX. In terms of YM, I have got a trend line here, but on the industrial chart, I do have a trend line. And we've got a whole load of 15-minute sell signals on the RTH charts. I'm thinking we're probably going to see some retracement today. The obvious thing, normally after a news spike, we will see a retracement, basically a back test of the news spike. And I'm thinking we've got a pretty good chance of seeing that here. Certainly, we've got now, and we'll shortly have all of the negative divergence we would normally expect to see. In terms of the sell signals, we've already got a 15-minute sell signal fixed on the SPX chart. Dow, I've got a pretty nice looking channel here. It's really quite impressive. And we've got a 15-minute sell signal there too. As I was saying on SPX last week when we had the last sell signal, these are pretty reliable. Now, this doesn't mean they can be relied on altogether, but what I was saying then was we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 we had at the time. And these signals had all made the possible near miss target, or one of those made the possible near miss target, and all the rest made the full target. That one I was talking about there, it's now 8, and we've now got 2 that made the possible near miss target. And this is number 9. Chances are it'll deliver a retracement. Normally, after a news spike like this, we will see a retracement. And last night, for the first time in weeks, we didn't back test the weekly pivot. The new weekly pivot is at 3135. We've got a pretty good chance we're going to see a back test that sees the test of the weekly pivot. That will probably find support. You can see that the main rising support trend line here is, wait a second, that's now in the 31, 12 to 15 area. I'm expecting that to hold as support. We may well see a touch. Might be close to the weekly pivot, depending on how long it takes to get there. But I think we've got a pretty good chance of seeing that today and tomorrow. And we will see. Don't know how fast it happens, but chances are we see a back test, and chances are I find some support there and at least comes back and retest the high. Why is it going to come back and retest the high? Well, we haven't really got any negative divergence here. If we look at the 60-minute, we had the opportunity for negative divergence, but the spike higher went through it. So if we come back and then retest that high, then that will give us negative divergence, and it'll give us the opportunity to do a larger retracement from there. We also haven't got any divergence on the daily chart. We've reached the 70 level on both the RSI 14 and the RSI 5. But chances are we're going to need some negative divergence before we turn, and we haven't got that yet. Where's the support here? Well, baseline support's at about 3,000. That's the daily middle band. The main supports I'm watching in the shorter term are the 5DMA, that's at 3113 today, and the on the 60-minute chart we've got the 50-hour moving average at 3087, but we've also got this baseline trend line support which held on the last move down, and that is currently in the 3110 area. That's the main support I'll be looking at, and if we actually see a break below that, then that would be a potentially significant technical break. I'm not really expecting to see it broken. All right, let's have a look at other instruments. DX. DX, we've got a break of declining resistance. I've moved this into September now. We're still on a 60-minute buy signal, which really we've been on it for so long that here we've had a very strong trend down. I'm skeptical about that having finished. If we actually were to see a decent rally, because this looks like a flag so far, and then a retest of the low, that could give us daily positive divergence, which is really what I'd be looking for a move up. I would also note that we've got a very big Fibonacci level in the 96.10 area. And we may well see a test of that area. We will see. All right, Zeebee. Zeebee No current divergence. We had a buy signal here and that failed. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest this low. That might give us positive divergence and a possible move up. Although, to be honest, on the bigger picture, I haven't really got much suggesting that we're going to see any serious reversal here, but we could well see a rally. CL, I was talking yesterday about the big resistance level I've got in the 41-42 area. We've actually come up since then, and we've got up as far as almost 41 area. I'm thinking that 42 area is probably going to get tested. We are on a 60-minute sell signal. We're coming back into a potential test of the weekly pivot, just under 38. I'm thinking we'll probably test that, and I've got a trend line here which we almost reached overnight in about the 41.2 area, and I'm wondering whether we're going to test it. NG looks like it needs to retest the low. Haven't got that retest yet. That's at 1.74. There is a risk that it's going to continue down, and that we've got unfinished business at a retest of the 2020 low. That's 1.52, and that is a note of caution in terms of any longs on NG here. I'm very bullish on NG for the bigger picture. But I'm wondering if it needs that retest first. There is a strong suggestion from the chart that it might. GC, we don't have any positive divergence here. We have seen a rally anyway. Declining resistance and the weekly pivot pretty much match at 1705. We will see. SI, falling wedge here. That's broken up slightly, but it's found resistance at the weekly pivot. If this weekly pivot is broken and converts to support, then we could see a retest of this high. HG went through my trend lines on Friday. Probably at the moment it looks as though this is only going to turn when equities is going to turn. Honestly, I'm thinking equities has not made a high yet, or at least I'm not seeing any sign of a high. We will see, but I'm leaning towards seeing this go a bit higher. We've gone through the trendline resistance, and I'd be looking for support at the weekly pivot. What I would say is, as soon as we retest this high, we'll have a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and of course we've got those pretty much brewing on all of the indices now. So we may well see that retracement. EURUSD, we're still on a 60-minute sell signal, just a mirror image of the DX chart really. So obvious short-term support at the weekly pivot and the annual pivot not far below. GBP USD might be seeing a bit of a reversal here. We've got no negative divergence, looking for support at the weekly pivot. Stands looking for some retracement here. We are over the obvious resistance at these two highs here. I'm keeping an open mind. I wouldn't be surprised to see a test of the annual pivot at 1.29. USD JPY, still on the 60-minute sell signal, not really delivered any downside since that fixed. We're over the annual pivot and the weekly pivot, and we're testing the 2019 annual pivot at 109.59. I'm not seeing anything compelling suggesting this is going to reverse soon. USD CAD, I've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed, and if we didn't already have that, we'd have a weak 60-minute buy signal fixing here, potential double bottom, but not really much to say that this is going to reverse. And I've got a big target below in the 1.301 area that I'm thinking is probably going to get tested soon. Australian dollar, we've got not a great trend line here. We're up at the annual pivot. This is possible resistance here, but if it isn't, then we can go through and we can continue higher. Very strong move on this so far. I don't have an obvious resistance trend line. NZUSD is going through, or at least it's overthrowing the obvious resistance trend line. This obviously may not be holding, but it could still deliver a move back to trendline support currently in the 63 area. KC, this looks as though it is owed a retest of the low. I think this is a flag forming. We also had a little IHS that broke up here and then failed the IHS, so I'm really expecting to see a retest of this low. That could be the second low of a double bottom. Sugar, sugar went up through the obvious trendline resistance. It's over the weekly pivot. We do have a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, but we're not going to pull back to make a right shoulder because obviously we went through that and just kept going at 11.5. Not seeing anything that compelling in looking for a big retracement here. CC, finding support at the weekly pivot and monthly pivot. As long as those hold as resistance, we can go lower. And there's nothing in pattern terms suggesting that we can't go lower. ZW, I am wondering whether we're forming flags, bear flags on all of the grains here. This certainly looks like a bear flag here. We're holding support at the moment. I've got that in about the 509 area. If that breaks, then I'll be looking for a retest of this low. Corn looks like a flag. We're in sort of flag channel or flag megaphone territory at the moment. We do have a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, but that's actually been brewing for a while. I was thinking this needed a higher high over here. At the moment we're there, we could be reversing. Soy. Soy, this again looks like a flag. It looks like a flag wedge that's overthrowing slightly on the bigger picture. I'm wondering whether we're making a high here, but we've got no current divergence. Live cattle, very, very nice bull flag channel here. I mean, it's tested the support again, which surprised me slightly, but it's holding. As long as that continues to hold, this is a bull flag channel which is pointing up. If this breaks, then obviously not all flags do break up. So lean hogs. Nice looking double bottom. It's sort of creeping up towards the double bottom resistance, basically will pretty much match with the monthly pivot. If we break and convert that, then we could see it move up into about the 64.25 area. But obviously we haven't broken that yet. And a number of, in recent months, most of the bottoming patterns, and there have been a number on lean hogs, have broken up and then just failed back into the previous low. This could be the same. All right, just going to do Palladium quickly because I was asked about that. So hang on, wait a second. Let's have a look at Palladium. I don't have an hourly chart on that one, but I've got the daily chart. Here, no current divergence, broken slightly back through support. Looks kind of like a bull flag, but at the moment, we're in an area where this could go either way. And to be honest, on bigger picture on precious metals, there is an increasing case for not retesting the highs on GC and starting a decent retracement. We've got daily sell signals fixed on SI. I'm wondering whether we're going to see more downside on precious metals before we see more upside. We will see how it goes. All right, any more questions today, guys? Recap ES and RTY. Okay. We're pretty close to retests of the highs on ES, or we've already retested it. This will get us 60-minute sell signal brewing. In Q, we're not close to a sell signal, but we've got possible 60-minute sell signal brewing on RTY, on YM. We've got weak sell signals brewing on DAX and ESTX. There is a strong argument here that we're about to see a retracement. This is backed up by, of course, the 15-minute charts as well. SPX, I was talking about this when we were doing this retracement here back into 3090. I was saying that we had 7 previous examples here. One of those made the possible near miss target, and the rest of them all made the full target. Now we've got 8, but we've 2 of them made the possible near miss target because that one made the possible near miss target and then found support. This is number 9. I'm expecting to see more from this. We don't absolutely have to, but normally after a news spike like the one we saw on Friday, we would be seeing some kind of a retracement or back test. We haven't. Normally, most weeks what we've been doing is we've been testing the new week pivot at the beginning of the week and heading up from there. We didn't do that last night. I think we're going to do that in the next couple of days. And I think that backtest is likely to be this retracement. It would fulfill this. It would make it to the target on this sell signal, and we've got the obvious support at the 5-DMA currently at 31.10, the 50-hour moving average I think at about 30.95 or something. This is all, and we've got the main trend line support here now at about the 31.10 area. This is all suggesting to me that we're going to see a test of the week pivot in today or tomorrow. We've got all the negative divergence here, and that's usually what we would see after a news spike. We will see. Weekly pivots, I've got that up 31.35. It's a pretty good match with everything. So I'd be looking for a retracement there, and then likely find support there. We could find we break this trend line and the support's just below 50-hour moving average, 5-DMA, and break down, but I'm not really seeing much suggesting a larger high here. Chances are we would do that retracement and then we would go right back and retest this high again, and at that stage we would have some bigger divergence. What I would also mention is we have some big resistance just above, and that is this breakaway gap here, and I've got that between about 32.40 and about 33.50. That was a huge gap down, and we've gone through the initial resistance I was looking at in the 3150 area, and we're getting close to that. That would be a very obvious place to go to and possibly find resistance. Although, to be honest, the further we go up, the more likely it is we are going to see the full high retest. And the other thing to mention here is NDX. NDX, I was saying weeks ago, and I was thinking that we were going to reach this trend line here as we were reaching the 3100, 3150 area on SPX, but NDX slowed down and it stopped going at the speed and it started lagging the others. So as a result, we've made the new all-time high here, but we haven't made it up to this target. There is a strong argument for going to make this target. Now the question is, how fast is NDX going to do that relative to SPX? If it's going to lag, then it may well be that we're going to see the, because this is, I've mentioned a few times, I'm saying this is the main good resistance trend line that we've got here. So the question is, when NDX reaches this target, as it may well, where is SPX going to be? If it's at a new all-time high, then that's the resistance area. So it wouldn't at this stage surprise me enormously to get it. I mean, perfect. It's on the bigger picture, it's absurd that this has got this far. But you know, we trade the market we've got in front of us. I think I was talking to someone last week, and I was saying that trading market's a bit like watching a movie. You need to suspend your disbelief. Just because something is irrational or even insane doesn't mean it can't happen. And you have to trade the market you've got. You have to suspend your disbelief about the bigger picture and just trade the market you've got in front of you. The market we've got in front of us is suggesting that we're going to see a back test now, which we're probably going to see, and that we're going to see a retest of the highs afterwards, and that we might continue up from that high, and we could see the high retest here. This is the main trend line I'm watching. NDX has been lagging, and I'm leaning towards it actually reaching this target. I'm not seeing anything on the markets generally to suggest that we're not going to. So we will see. All right, any more questions, guys? RTY on the week, is the weekly pivot the backtest target? It might be. It's not as, it doesn't treat it in with as much respect as ES tends to. But that would be an obvious first target, and I would say that's a pretty good match with rising support. So that we may well find support there, and that's at the 1467 area. All right, any more questions, guys? No, in that case, that's a wrap. All right, anyway, if we get any interesting AM high here, although we might be turning already, actually, then I'll be calling it. If we get down to the weekly pivot area, I'll be watching it very, very closely and sharing what I see. All right, cheers, guys. Catch you later.